Hi everyone, this is Jordan with Team J's Classroom Fun. I'm back today, and today I'm going to be talking about some picture books that you might want to use in the winter. I will be sharing 5 picture books that I like to use during, December, January, February timeframe, and also some ideas of how you can use them in your classroom. So before I get started, make sure you subscribe and like so that you don't miss out on any of my teaching tips and ideas. As I mentioned, today I'm going to be sharing 5 books that you can use during the winter times read alouds in the classroom. In addition to these books being amazing picture books to share, I also have some ideas of some ways you can tie literacy and writing standards into these lessons. Here's the first book. First up, we have How to Catch a Snowman. So this one's a popular one. As we know, the how-to series is out there. There's tons of different versions: how to catch a mermaid, how to catch a ghost. Actually, I don't know if there's how to catch a ghost, how to catch a pumpkin. I don't know, but there's one for every holiday is what I'm trying to say. For this one, obviously, this is a great story where you could do a lot with sequencing of all the different things they did to catch the snowman. You also could have kids write their own version. So I like to try to have kids sometimes come up with their own story, and they could come up with their own version of how to catch a snowman. You could even give them ideas of some other like wintry type things that maybe they could change it where it's not a snowman they're trying to catch, it's something else, but there's different ways you could do that. Next up, we have The Mitten by Jan Brett. So this is a classic story. We've all heard the story. It's a fantastic story. This is another great one for sequencing. For this one, as we know, the little boy loses his mittens. All the different animals, join and jump into the mitten, and the mitten eventually stretches out. This is another great one, like I said, for sequencing. So especially if that's a skill you're working on with first, next, last, that could be something you could do. It also has that kind of predictable text of sorts, so you could also make your own version together as a class. Third book I have for you is called The Snow Globe Family. So this one I really like because I, as a child, used to collect snow globes. I had quite the collection when I was younger. And so this one kind of ties in nicely to that as well. So in this one, there's the snow globe family that we get to learn about throughout the story and all the different adventures this teeny tiny little family goes through. I thought for this one, it could be kind of fun to have your class create their own snow globe scene. It doesn't necessarily have to be a family, but they could create their own little snow globe, and it could be a family, it could be animals, it could be something, and then they're going to write a story about what happens to the people or things in the snow globe. And it even talks about like what happens when it was shaken up, like what happened to the people in there and all that, how they fell over. So it's just a fun story for that, but it also could be a great way to tie in some creative writing for the kids to be able to use their imaginations. Next up, we have Snowmen at Night. This is another great one that has what do the snowmen do at night? Like, what do they do when everyone's sleeping? And so for this one has a lot of rhyming words. So I thought this would be a really good one to have kids identify and notice the rhyming words. There's also a lot too of verbs in here. So if you're working on verbs, this could be one where you guys read it and then pick out the verbs that you see. And the last one is one of my favorite winter ones. This one's called Sneezy the Snowman. I love this book. I actually gave this book to my class this year for the holidays, and I think I've done it a few other years before. But in this book, Sneezy the Snowman is cold, so he wants different things to warm up, but as he warms up, he melts. So for example, one of the things the kids do to help him warm up is they put him in a hot tub. Well, of course, he melts. And so then eventually the wind blows, the snow blows, and he becomes a snowman again. For this one, I thought it would be really cool to have the kids create their own invention. So maybe they could figure out their own way of how they could keep the snowman warm without having him melt. And they could try to create something. The other thing in this one, there's a lot of cause and effect, right? Like of, okay, well, if you put him in the hot tub, what's going to happen? And so this would be a great story as well to work on identifying the cause and the effect of what's going on throughout the story. So those are the books that I have to share with you today. Please, like I said, like, subscribe, share. I hope these books are helpful to you, and I hope you can use these ideas in your classroom. See you next time.